for this football team, they're on a quest to go back-to-back, man.
Yeah.
It hasn't been done in over 20 years. We were actually talking briefly with someone from Boston. It hadn't happened since they were talking about back-to-back in Boston on the Sports Hub over there. I mean, it has been a very long time. You're also talking about dynasty. And we know the last time the Chiefs were in a position to do this same thing in terms of going back-to-back, and it was a week in which I think Chiefs fans were confident then as well, the same way I'm confident heading into this game, and we know they laid an egg at that point against the Tampa Bay Bucs in a 31-9 loss.
They blew it. I mean, I think that's why this feels extra important, not just for the dynasty stuff. Like, if you just separate it from you have a shot at back-to-back Super Bowls. And the last time you had a shot to do it, you not just didn't win the game, Gold. You blew it. You blew it really bad. Matter of fact, if you look at the last 5 or 6 teams to have a shot to go back-to-back, the Patriots blew it a couple of times. The Seahawks blew their opportunity to go back-to-back. I know that we always be like, well, you never know when you're going to get back just in general for teams. That just universally applies. The Chiefs will probably be back in another Super Bowl. But you can't be guaranteed to go back-to-back. That puts you in exclusive company. Like we said, there's the bigger dynasty part of this. But I think it would be in my head that the last time we tried to run it back, remember that was the whole saying, that they messed up. And I think it says something a little bit that they have given no slogan for going back-to-back this time. They haven't said, let's run it back. They haven't said back-to-back. They haven't said, they've left that mostly out of it versus our job is to win an individual Super Bowl, which is the right attitude. But I think it's impossible to not go into this thing and try to make sure you secure that. We've won back-to-back Super Bowl championships.
No, I mean, it's all about legacy when we're talking about these things. And I think the great ones recognize what legacy and historical achievements can be, but also they're great at not making it the focus of the week and not putting too much pressure on themselves to get there. I think that's something you would worry about for a younger player. But if you're Rashee Rice, you weren't here last year when they won. If you're if you're not Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, or Andy Reid for that matter, I would really say those 3 players, those 4 individuals as well.
Those are the most important players you just listed.
But those are the guys that are they're experienced. They've been here before. They're not going to let that overwhelm them, even though tonight at media night, I can promise you at opening night, there is going to be plenty of people asking them about the historical implications of what a Super Bowl win would mean. Not to mention, we'll have time, as we already have in the last week or so, to talk about individually Mahomes putting himself on a path directly to pace where Brady was. Yeah. All of that is stuff. Mahomes is not. He knows that is out there, but I just think it's not something where all week long, oh my gosh, it's all that's on his mind is how can he make sure he gets a ring to chase Brady. I don't think that's how he approaches it. He understands what it could mean for his legacy, but just like Tom Brady, when he was winning 7 rings, I don't think after the 4th one he was saying, man, if I get to 5, that's going to put me in this, all alone or anything like that. I don't think
he actually made a comment on a radio interview maybe like a week ago. Tom did, and I think it was on the one he does with Gray. And so he was talking about that, and he said, I learned very early on that I better not try to become the next Marino, the next Montana, I should just probably try to be me. And for Mahomes, that's got to be easy. He plays football different than anyone I've ever watched play football again. Whether he gets to the ring total or not, it's a completely different conversation. But he plays it his own way. He's succeeding his own way, and he's succeeding at a rate that really only one person ever has succeeded at. That's why it's hard not to look at it. The back-to-back thing is huge. Like, I think being able to say that is one time in somewhere in your NFL career, a lot of those other dynasties, the reason why they're dynasties is because they had that. I know that it completes an even bigger picture thing, and they'll try to be they win it, they can try to be the first team to go back-to-back, and then he could have a whole nother conversation in himself. The closest anyone's ever gotten is 3 out of 4. I think it is hard once the game kicks in not to let that pressure of you are the defending Super Bowl champs. It does, I will say this, it seems like a face-off of 2 teams trying to be like, no, we're the underdog. The Chiefs can be like, oh, look at us.
It's been that way on social media from their own social media.
Oh, yeah, they're like, never.
Everybody
never
loves to be. Everybody loves to be the dog, right? Everybody loves to be the underdog. The fact is, the Chiefs are the underdog. Like whether
I know, but the Chiefs are the defending Super Bowl champions.
I understand, but Cody, they've been underdogs in every game other than the Dolphins game in the Super Bowl.
49ers have been favored in every game.
The Niners are the only team during the regular season. The Chiefs and Niners were the 2 teams that had been favored every week. The only difference was Week 18, the Chiefs rested, and so they were underdogs to the Chargers. Other than that, the Niners literally have been favorites in 20 football games this year.
But that's a Vegas underdog versus a mental underdog.
Yeah,
and when you're the 49ers, you can say They're the defending Super Bowl champs.
I understand.
We're the underdog in this game. They're the one playing for a dynasty. We haven't won anything. We've never won a Super Bowl with this group. We've got the 7th round, the Mr. Irrelevant quarterback. They've got Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I hear you.
Mental versus the Vegas.
I hear you, and that's why I love the fact that, though, in Vegas the Chiefs are underdogs. You're correct that the 49ers are viewing it as, oh, my gosh, now that the Chiefs have turned it on, that a lot of people are picking the Chiefs to win this game more so than the 49ers. But, I mean, the Niners also, let's not kid ourselves, Cody, from week 3 on. I can't say week 1 because the Chiefs were preseason Super Bowl favorites, but after the Chiefs lost to the Lions, other than the Ravens, the 49ers were the Super Bowl favorites pretty much all year.
They were.
And the 49ers, after week 5, before they had a 3-game lull with some injuries, they looked like, hey, if that game, I think we said on this very show, so did a lot of people, that around October 10th, if the Super Bowl was October 10th, yeah, the 49ers would have beat anybody in this league. They would have cruised through a Super Bowl win. And we said at the time, the good news is the Super Bowl is played in February. And here we are. It's now February. And there's a much different feel. The 49ers have looked a little more vulnerable. The Chiefs still have all their flaws, but they're playing their best football of the season. I don't know if you can say the Niners are playing their best football of the season at all.
No, they're still playing pretty good, though. The 2 games that they won, obviously they got behind and still won. This is what's so funny about even January 1st. You don't need to go halfway through the season. January 1st, this was my nightmare stretch for the Chiefs to get the win. I'm sorry, they got to play at home against Miami, travel to Buffalo, travel to Baltimore, and then play the 49ers? This is worst-case scenario. I couldn't have imagined. That is the path I would have chosen the least. You could have given me, oh, hey, here are the 900 different possibilities of the way the Chiefs can go to the Super Bowl and win it this year. This path would have been my absolute dead last choice. And still somehow the Chiefs are in this game, have a shot to beat the 49ers on Sunday, and come back for that title and those rings.